team? This is TC, and we are finally making the video that I've been wanting to make for weeks. How to use trigonometry in order to judge your bullet drop on your weapon. In order to understand this video, there's a couple of things that you need to understand about how a weapon works or how a bullet travels. It doesn't travel in a straight line. It curves with gravity. So what this video is how to calculate this curve. This is something that a sniper in real life would absolutely do before they take a shot. So the first thing that we need to understand is you're going to view this as always using a triangle. Everything is related to that triangle. Your bullet curve, everything. So there's two methods to calculate bullet drop, and I'm going to teach you both. The first thing to kind of realize is if I were to range this house and there was an enemy in the window, let's range it now, 203 meters. The difference in height from where I am to where he is adjusts how our bullet goes. I'm going to demonstrate this with a clip that is not my clip, but has me in it as the sniper. So in that clip, especially if you've seen one of my previous videos talking about the mil dots of that scope, you'll notice that even though he's at 305 meters, I didn't use the 300 meter mil dot. It's because I did the math beforehand and his adjusted range was 265 meters. So SCUM gives you this value. We can work out this value, and then this value here, the hypotenuse, is what we need to work out to adjust our bullet drop. This is a POSP scope on a SVD rifle. I don't know how the devs did it, but they're damn accurate with this calculation. What we can use this scope for is the inbuilt rangefinder. I've already made a video on this, which I'll link below. But essentially, what we can do is we can range our target. Oh, that's 206 meters. And then we can use the 1.7 and the 2, because it's close to 200 meters. 1.7 at the bottom of the building here, and we can go, that is 1.7 meters to that point at the 2. That's 3.4 meters, that's 5.1 meters, 6.8, 8.5. So we can basically, we know that this building is 8.5 meters tall. So if somebody's in this window, and they are for 5.1 meters up, we know where our bullet's going to go. We can work that out really, really quickly using this scope because we can use Pythagoras. We know the distance to the target, and we also know the b square value. We can use that to work out the hypotenuse. A squared, b squared equals c squared, and then we square root it, and that will give us an adjusted range. From there, though, we can use the height of this building, 8.5 meters. So when I was serving, we used something that was a modern day equivalent of something called a sextant. I can't actually show the exact thing that we used because I will legitimately get in trouble for exposing that information, okay? But what it does is if you just imagine that sextant, it gives you angles, okay? From these angles, you can use a calculation called cosine. You take your approximate angle to your target compared to the position that you're at, and using a cosine function on your phone or a calculator, you can calculate the angle, and then you can calculate where your bullet is going to go on that adjusted range. Okay, because your mil dots, incredibly in this game, are actually accurate. If we know the height of this building now, using cosine or using this POSP scope, and we know they range in a direct line from a weapon without calculating bullet drop, we can also use cosine to draw a wedge to this corner of the building. Okay, see that triangle I'm making? So you can take the approximate angle from this point to this point, and then use the flat line by simply measuring the distance using cosine, the bullet drop calculation to the top of this roof. We can do the same thing from here to here. We can do the same thing from here to this building. This is something a sniper would absolutely do. All about that pizza wedge, right? So we're creating a wedge from here to here. Okay? As a wedge. So if we measure that value, and that value, we can calculate the bullet drop of everything in between. So if we can only get a value to one area, we can still calculate how an enemy might move, let's say on this road. Because we have this value and this value. Then we can use the angles to calculate the bullet drop for anything in between those values. All of this seems very complex, okay? But don't worry, you learnt this in high school, okay? You were taught this. You told your math teacher that you'll never use this in real life, okay? But we're in a game now. The devs have made it pretty damn accurate, like I said before. All you're doing is creating triangles. Creating a triangle from, what's this angle? Okay, so what's that? That's around about 45 degrees. So from there, we can use the cosine function in a calculator, and we can figure out the range of that building. I would say that is probably, if I just do the math in my head, if this is 200, that'll be about 260. 240, okay. So, that's all you're doing. You're just creating the triangles. SCUM will give you the a squared value. You can work out the b squared value by measuring the zombie with something like the POSP scope, or you can use cosine on your approximate angle of the target. Once you work those two values out, you add them together and then square root the total, and that'll give you an adjusted range. The short and sweet of it is if you are higher than a target, then you aim lower. If the target is higher than you, then you aim higher. And that's pretty much it. So this guy is gonna die. See ya.